Hello everybody, my name is Jay. I'm one of the expert teachers here at E2 Language and E2 School. If you haven't seen those websites, do check them out. They can help you a lot. So we've been doing some videos on first language interference. That is, if you speak, say, Malayalam, what happens when you speak English with the sounds that you make, the pronunciation. Sometimes there is an interference. So these have been pretty popular, and the one we're going to do today is on Dravidian languages, which include languages such as Malayalam and Telugu, etc. So let's have a look. Let's do IELTS pronunciation for Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam speakers. Okay, so what are the main differences between English and these Dravidian languages? What we're going to do is actually focus on the Tamil language, but if you do speak Kannada or Malayalam or Telugu, you can, this will apply to you as well because the languages are quite similar. Okay, so the main differences between English and Tamil are, in terms of pronunciation, in English there are 22 vowel sounds. In Tamil, there are only 12 vowel sounds. So while Tamil has most of the short vowel sounds, English has a lot of long vowel sounds or diphthongs. So we're going to focus on that in this lesson. I'm going to show you how to pronounce some of those longer English vowel sounds. Also, there are 24 consonant sounds in English, like k, d, f, m, etc. Tamil has almost all of them, but there are some consonant sounds that Tamil doesn't have, like f and z, for example. So we're going to focus on those as well. Cool, so let's get started. Let's look at the vowel sounds for Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam speakers. So let's look at some of the common problems. Here's the first common problem. As I mentioned, English has lots of these multi-vowel sounds. So a multi-vowel sound is when you take two vowels like A and I and it becomes a, or our. It's like two vowels when you're gliding across two sounds at once. But in your language, you don't have these sounds. So what you tend to do is put the two vowels together and say them both. Here are some examples. So multi-vowels become two short vowels. For example, the word paint with the multi-vowel a, paint, actually quite distinctly becomes paint, instead of paint. Or pound, ow, becomes pound. It's almost like there's two sounds here instead of one sound. So what you need to concentrate on doing is combining those two sounds into the one multi-vowel sound. We'll do some practice in a minute. The second common problem for Dravidian speakers is that, of course, and this is very natural, you follow your Dravidian speaking pattern. So apparently there's a popular supermarket in the south of India called Food World, but a lot of Dravidian speakers say Fooda World, and this little vowel sound all of a sudden gets inserted between the d and the w sound there. Or vegetable in English becomes vegetable instead of vegetable, okay? Now that's completely normal that you would follow your original or first language when speaking English, but if you do want to get a high score on one of these tests, for example, or you just want to be easily understood by a native English speaker, you do need to think about how, well, not necessarily a native English speaker says it, but you need to think about the interference of your first language. Cool, we'll do some practice on that. This is also a common problem. So this is the long O sound, O, as in coat. But sometimes for Dravidian speakers, it can become cot or cot, for example. So if I'm listening to a Dravidian speaker and they say, do you have a raincoat? When in fact they should be making that a long sound. Do you have a raincoat? Coat, coat, coat sounds good. Cot sounds wrong, for example. Cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is skip the short vowel sounds because there's not much of a problem between Dravidian and English, right? Dravidian languages and the English language with short vowel sounds. The big problems come with these multi-vowel sounds, these longer A, for example, oi, these longer vowel sounds. So let's do some practice here. So in English, we actually have how many? 3, 6, 9, 10 of them. In Dravidian languages, you have 2. So you have A, as in wait, that's fine. And ow, as in cow, that's fine. But what about my, and boy, and show, and here, and hair, and tourist, and fire, and power. So let's take a look at my, this long I type of sound. Words like. Please feel free to repeat after me if you need to practice this. Like, right, time, cry, my. You can hear the 2 vowel sounds in one. So it's not me, it's not cree, it's not Tim, it's time, cry, my. What about this one here? Boy, oi sound. Let's do this together. So it's toy, boy, annoy. Or OI sounds like foil, or coin. Another problematic multi-vowel sound is O. Let's do these ones here as in go, or show, or loan, or though, or even funny spelling like SEW, like so. So what can happen here is if you have a word like loan, often it can sound like lon. So try to extend that O sound out, O. Cool. All right, next one is ear, as in here, ear. So words like here, or career. Or again, here, near. Or even words like idea. Make sure you're pronouncing those intelligibly. Let's do air, as in hair. So words like pear, or stare, or fair. Or even at the beginning of a word like aeroplane, or bear. Cool. This one's kind of tricky. This is like an ura sound in English, as in tourist, or tour, or cure, or fewer, or this was possibly the most challenging word to say in English. Even I struggle with this one. Rural. It's a funny multi-vowel sound in English. All right, second last one is ire, as in fire. So let's do tire. Or liar. or pliers, 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 or aspire, 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 or even a word like deep fryer, fryer, fryer. If you're saying these and it feels kind of strange, like it feels unnatural, it feels like you're faking it, that's actually correct. It might feel weird to you to say these sounds like this because you're just not used to it. It's not what comes from your first language. But to my ear, when you're saying these longer multi-vowel sounds correctly, I'm like, yes, that's correct. That sounds perfect. Well done. Okay. So at the beginning, when you're starting to make these sounds and they're probably correct, it may feel a bit weird. So you just have to push through until it becomes natural or normalized for you. Cool. Last one, hour, 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 as in power, power, power. So words like hour, 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 or tower, 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 or flower, 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 or cower, 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 or even just the pronoun hour, hour, hour. It's also a difficult one to say. Okay, we've gone through the vowel sounds and they're pretty tricky. Now what we're going to do is have a look at the consonant sound. So what a vowel sound is actually is it's a sound that we make when we don't use our lips, teeth, tongue, or anything like that. It's a sound that comes straight from the voice box without being interrupted by the mouth, like ah, e, o, for example. Consonant sounds are sounds that actually use your teeth, your tongue, the roof of your mouth, your lips, etc., and actually stop the air in some way coming through. That's the difference between a vowel and a consonant. So let's have a look at the problematic consonant sounds for Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam speakers. Just before we do that, if you're watching this on YouTube, you should click that subscribe button. The reason is we're going to continue to make videos like this. And one of the ones that is coming up will be the grammar issues you face when you're a Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, or Malayalam speaker, and you have to write or speak in English, and the grammatical issues that come from your first language into English. For example, articles or overuse of particular verb tenses. So we're going to make videos on those. So do click that subscribe button, become a subscriber so you can find out when we release those videos. Cool. Okay. Here are all of the consonant sounds in English. P, b, f, v, the, sorry, th, the, t, d, s, z, sh, j, ch, j, k, g, m, n, n, l, r, j, w, and h. They are all of them. The problematic ones are the p, f, th, the, t, z, k, and n. The reasons why these are problematic is perhaps they just don't exist in your first language, or maybe they exist but in a slightly different way. For example, the difference between p and b, for example, which we're going to focus on as well. So let's just look at some general problems when saying consonant sounds. The main one is, for Dravidian languages, your tongue is curled up in your mouth when you speak. You curl your tongue up and you use the roof of your mouth when you're speaking a lot. In English, we don't do this very much. Our tongues are not curled up, they're sort of out. And we use the back of our teeth a lot when we're speaking, okay? So this is try to be conscious of this when we're going through some of these sounds, to uncurl your tongue, okay? Let's try this. So words like think, for Dravidian speakers, to me, it sounds like you're saying dink, 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 instead of think, think, think. And the reason is, to say think properly, your tongue, your top teeth actually rest on your tongue. I think, 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 not dink, dink, dink. That's when you've got your tongue curled up. Or another one is the voiced then becomes den, den, den. So we'll do some work on that. In Tamil and other Dravidian languages, there are no aspirated consonants. What I mean by that is, if you're saying the sound p, for example, in English, if you put your hand here, p, 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 you can actually feel the air hit your hand, okay? Apparently in Tamil, you do not have any of these aspirated consonants. That's why when I'm listening to you and you're saying p, it might sound like b, 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 b. Because when I say b, there's no air coming out. So when you're speaking English and some of these consonants that are aspirated, p, you actually need to push air out of your mouth. It just makes it sound natural, I guess, or native-like. So we're going to do some work on consonants like p versus b, t, also aspirated versus d, and k, aspirated versus g. Another problem is that in Tamil and other Dravidian languages, there's no distinction between voiced and unvoiced. So the difference between b and p, for example, is, well, one, p is aspirated, but b is voiced, okay? It comes from b. If you put your hand here, b, 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 versus p, 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 one of them is making a sound at the throat level. Now, in English, we distinguish between voiced and unvoiced. And when we use a voiced or when we use an unvoiced, it makes a particular sound, which makes a particular meaning, which gives a particular word meaning to the listener. But in your language, there's no distinction between these two, so that's problematic. Okay, number 4. In English, if we're saying two of the same consonant sounds like ch and ch, as in Dutch cheese, we distinguish between the two. I say, can I have some Dutch cheese, please? Dutch cheese. But apparently, in Dravidian languages, often these can combine. And when you combine them when you're speaking English, it sounds like Dutchies, Dutchies, instead of Dutch cheese, Dutchies. So just be conscious that if there are two consonant sounds together, you do need to say them both in English. Also, number 5, there is no z, z, z sound in Tamil, so lazy becomes lacy. And there's no F sound in Tamil, as in f, f, f. So full can become pull, for example. Let's do some practice now. Let's look at the difference between d and th. So d is unaspirated, d, 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 and the tongue is curled up. What we want to do is aspirate it, th, th, th. You want to feel the air on the back of your hand there, th. And your tongue needs to unroll and hit the back of your teeth, th, th, th. Again, it might feel weird for you to do this, it might seem strange, but for my ear, the native speaker, it's like, yes, that's perfect, well done, I can understand you. So, don't say dat if you're trying to say that. Dat, that. Don't say da if you're trying to say the. Da, the. Don't say dro if you're trying to say throw. Dro, throw. Don't say dink if you're trying to say think. Dink, think. Don't say dunder if you're trying to say thunder, thunder, thunder. Again, sounds strange or seems strange, but thunder, 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 thunder. Don't say dumb if you're trying to say thumb. Dumb, thumb, dumb, thumb. There's a difference. All right, let's look at the difference between b and p and d and t and g and k. This is unaspirated versus aspirated sounds. We'll start with b and p. Don't say bat if you're trying to say pat. Bat, pat. What I want you to do when you're saying the words in green is put your hand here, pat, pat, bat, bat, pat. If you're doing it correctly, you should feel the air hit your hand, pat. Don't say buy if you're trying to say pie. Buy, pie. Don't say big if you're trying to say pig. Big, pig. Don't say blade if you're trying to say played. Blade, played. I played cricket. I did not play cricket. Don't say bride if you're trying to say pride. Bride, pride. Don't say blunder if you're trying to say plunder. Blunder, plunder. Okay, this time it's d versus t. Again, please uncurl your tongue. Make your tongue hit your teeth, not the roof of your mouth. Do, to. Don't say do if you want to say to. Don't say die if you want to say tie. Die, tie. Don't say dry if you want to say try. Dry, try. That one's a little bit different actually. That's my mistake. That's more of a ch sound. So just actually forget that one. Don't say deck if you want to say tech. Deck, tech. Deck, tech. When I'm making the differences here, if I'm saying deck, 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 it's my tongue is hitting the top of my mouth just behind my teeth. But when I'm saying tech, as in technology, my tongue is actually just touching the back of my front teeth. Tech, 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 just. Don't say duck if you want to say tuck. Duck, tuck. Don't say dent if you want to say tent. Dent, tent. Okay, this time it's g versus k. Again, if you're saying this correctly, if you're saying the k sound correctly, you should be able to feel it on your hand. K, k. Not so much, not like p. It's k. It more sort of goes downwards actually, but there's a little bit of air coming out. If I'm saying g, 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 it's at my throat. This time I want to push the air out. K, k, k. It's a bit lighter. You have to put your hand a bit closer. So don't say game if you want to say came. Game, came. Don't say glass if you want to say class. Glass, class. Don't say guard if you want to say card. Guard, card. Don't say goat if you want to say coat. Goat, coat. Don't say glue if you want to say clue. Glue, clue. Glue, clue. Don't say ground if you want to say crowned. Ground, crowned. Ground, crowned. One has the k, aspirated sound. The air is coming out for the k sound. All right, this time we're going to look at s versus z, because apparently in Tamil at least there is no z sound. So let's do some practice of the z sound. Don't say sip if you want to say zip. Sip, zip. This time it's kind of the opposite. S, z, s, z, z, z. If you're doing the z sound correctly, if you put your hand on your throat, you can feel it vibrating. Z. If you're saying s, it's not vibrating your throat. So this is called voiced. Z, 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 z. That is correct. Zip, zip, zip. Cool, let's keep going. So don't say sewn if you want to say zone. Sewn, zone. Don't say ace if you want to say you got straight A's. A's, A's. Don't say device if you want to say devise. Device, devise. Z, z. Don't say face if you want to say phase. Phase, phase. Don't say excuse if you want to say excuse. Excuse, excuse. Okay, last one. This is the difference between p and f, because again, apparently in Tamil at least, there is no f sound. So let's have a look at some of these. So don't say pull if you want to say full. Pull, full, pull, full. When I'm making this f sound, my top teeth are on my bottom lip and I'm pushing air through. F, p is the p sound. F for the full sound. Don't say pon if you want to say phone, or pone, phone, pone, phone. Don't say pickle if you want to say fickle, pickle, fickle. Don't say plight if you want to say flight, plight, flight. Don't say pierce if you want to say fierce, pierce, fierce. And don't say apply if you want to say a fly, apply, a fly. Cool. That is it for Dravidian speakers. They are the main pronunciation issues when you're speaking your first language and then you're speaking English, but there's interference. Your first language is coming through to English. So you need to try to be conscious of those errors, just so you can be understood more easily, okay? And so you can get a higher score on your test, for example. Now, what I want you to do now is check out e2language.com if you're doing test prep like PTE, IELTS, OET, or TOEFL. Or if you just want to improve your general English, such as your pronunciation or your vocabulary or your grammar, or you want to do some general English practice, check out e2school.com. These are two fabulous websites that will help you a lot. And if you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. I hope that was helpful. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Which sounds do you have problems? Out of all of the ones I just mentioned, which particular sounds do you have issues with when speaking English? Thanks very much. My name is Jay. I will see you soon.